She had everything. Jets, jewels, private chefs. But none of it mattered if she couldn't find someone who loved her without knowing her name. Her name was Adaeze Obinna, daughter of one of the richest men in Africa, Chief Obinna, CEO of Obicom Holdings. But nobody at Olukola Public Secondary School knew that. Here she was simply Amaka Chisholm, a transfer girl with a mysterious past and a white face mask she never removed. She wore it every day, rain or sun, class or break, and no one, not even the teachers, had seen her face. 6 months ago, her father said one sentence that changed her life. "You want to inherit the company? Fine. But first, earn what can't be bought. Genuine love." He continued, "Find someone who loves you without knowing who you are. Someone who falls for the girl, not the surname. Until then, the company is not yours." And just like that, the test began. She had to vanish into a world she didn't understand. Public school, fake identity, no bodyguards, no chauffeurs, no designer clothes. Just her, a new name, and a mask. The school gate was loud, boys playing, girls gossiping. A group of them turned when they saw her. "Why is this one wearing mask?" someone whispered. "Not corona again?" another said, laughing. From behind her mask, she smiled. Quietly, calmly. She walked to class, ignoring them. But inside, she was trembling. She had trained for months, learned to speak like them, dress like them, think like them. Still, she wasn't ready for the cruelty. In class, a girl named Precious tapped her shoulder. "Excuse me," Precious said, fake smiling. "This seat is for normal people. Your mask can sit in the dustbin." Laughter erupted. Amaka, Adaeze, stood calmly, picked up her books, moved to the back. The teacher entered. Silence fell, but not in her mind. She's just like the boardroom bullies, she thought, only younger, louder. It happened one afternoon. She was in the library, writing in her journal when someone snatched it from her. It was Chuka, a loud boy who enjoyed causing scenes. He flipped it open. "Let's see what our mask queen is hiding." Adaeze gasped. Her heart almost stopped. Page 1. "If I fail this test, I lose everything." Chuka blinked. "Wait, what test?" She rushed forward, grabbed the book. "Give it back." He paused. "Who are you, really?" Everyone was watching. She stood still, her voice soft. Someone trying to survive. Then she walked out, slowly, strongly. But inside, she was collapsing. One more second, and I would have told them everything. She was eating alone. A girl walked up to her. Her name was Halima. Halima wasn't popular, but she was kind. "You don't talk much," Halima said. Adaeze nodded. "I prefer to watch." Halima smiled. "That's why I like you. You're not like the others." Adaeze paused. She wanted to say it. Wanted to say, "I'm not like the others because I'm the daughter of a billionaire." But instead she asked, "Would you still like me if I wasn't who you thought I was?" Halima laughed. "You're wearing a mask, Amaka. I don't even know who I think you are." That night, Adaeze cried. Because Halima was right. Nobody knew her. And yet, maybe that was her only chance to be truly loved. Back home in her tiny apartment, paid for secretly by her father, she got a call. "Have you found anyone yet?" Chief Obinna asked. "No," she said. "Any temptations to reveal?" "Too many." "Then remember this. If anyone discovers who you are before they fall in love with you, your test ends and your dream dies." She looked at herself in the mirror. Can someone love a shadow? As she walked to school the next morning, she saw someone watching her from across the street. A boy. Same uniform, sharp eyes, lean frame. He looked like he knew something, too much. Who is that? He didn't smile. He just walked away. Adazi's heart raced. Does he know who I am? She pulled her mask tighter. Part 2. The boy who knows too much. Last time she almost broke. She almost told. And someone new appeared. A boy who watched her too closely. Now everything is changing. Adazi sat at the edge of the field, watching students play football. Dust filled the air. Her notebook lay open beside her, filled with doodles and scattered thoughts. Then he sat beside her. No introduction, no warning, just silence. She turned slightly. It was him, the boy who stared at her from across the street yesterday. Why are you sitting here? She asked. I like quiet places, he replied. She nodded. So do I. Another silence. Then he said, You don't belong here. Her heart skipped. What do you mean? She asked. He looked forward, not at her. You speak too carefully. You walk like someone who's used to being followed. You don't flinch at bullies. And you write like someone who's afraid of being known. Adiz blinked, stunned. Who is this boy? The next day, Precious cornered her in the hallway. You've been quiet, but now we see you're making friends with new boys, Abi. She laughed, loud and sharp. Then she reached for Adazi's mask. Let's see that secret face today. Adazi stepped back fast. Books dropped. Her heart raced. Don't touch me, she said, firm. Students gathered, some chanting, Unmask her, unmask her. Her hands shook. Her mask slipped slightly. Then from nowhere a voice boomed, Leave her alone. It was him, the new boy. He walked in front of her, stood tall. Touch her again, and I'll make sure you regret it, Precious hissed. Who are you to threaten me? He didn't flinch. Try me. They all walked away, grumbling. Adais breathed. She had almost been revealed. Too close. Way too close. In the staff room, 2 teachers whispered while marking books. That new girl, I think I've seen her before. Where? Magazine cover, Business Weekly, could be a coincidence. Still, we should watch her. The adults are starting to notice too. She sat with the boy later that day under a mango tree. He introduced himself finally. I'm Dio, he said. She nodded. Amaka. He smiled slightly. Sure. Amaka. She froze. Why did you say it like that? Dio looked at her. Because that's not your name. Adazi stood up fast. You don't know me. He remained seated, calm. You're right, but I want to. She paused, then slowly sat back down. For a moment she wanted to say everything, just confess. But she didn't. Instead she whispered, What if I told you I'm part of something big? Something that will break if you know the truth? Dio looked at her. Then I would say, Don't tell me yet. Just let me know the real you. Slowly. Was that love or curiosity? That evening, she opened her locker. There was a folded note inside. No name, no handwriting. It said, We know who you are. Take off the mask, or we will. Her chest tightened. Her hands trembled. Someone had found her out. But who? Dio, the teachers, Chuka, Precious, or her father? She ran outside, looked everywhere. No sign. But the feeling of being hunted? It was real now. I came here to find love, but I may leave here exposed. That night, her phone buzzed. A message from her father. Your face is on the line. Your future is on the edge. Do not fail this test, Adize, or you lose it all. She stared at the message for a long time, then whispered, How do I win a test where everyone wants me to lose? Dear listener, someone knows. But who? And what happens if her mask is ripped off before love is found? Drop a comment. What would you do in her place? Subscribe so you don't miss the next twist, because because part 3 will shake even the strongest heart. And if this story touched you, even for a second, share it. You never know who else is wearing a mask. Part 3, the day everything almost fell apart. The rule is simple. Fall in love first. Reveal yourself later. But what if your mask becomes your prison and your secret becomes a weapon? Adaze is drowning in whispers, a note in her locker, a growing suspicion. And Dio? He's still watching her too closely. The school day started with whispers, not loud, just loud enough. She's hiding something. I heard she's running from the police. No, it's worse. I think she's a cultist. And the scariest rumor? I heard she's possessed. That's why she wears the mask. Daisy heard it all, but she didn't respond. She just looked ahead and walked through them. If I respond, they'll dig deeper. But deep inside, she was breaking. After class, Dio caught up with her behind the science lab. You look tired. I am. Want to talk? She shook her head. But Dio stepped in front of her. Then answer me this. What scares you more, being seen or being known? She froze. The answer was both. But all she said was, you ask too many questions. Dio smiled. Maybe, but you give too few answers. She turned to walk away. Then he whispered, I know you're protecting something. I just hope it's worth the pain. It happened during literature class. The teacher asked, what is the cost of hiding your true self? Daisy's heart raced. The whole room seemed to spin. Precious glanced at her. Even Chuka raised his eyebrow. The teacher looked at her. Amaka, what do you think? It was the perfect moment. The whole class waited. And for a second, just 1 second, she opened her mouth to speak. I think. Then her eyes met Dio's, and she saw it. Hope, curiosity, maybe even care. She paused, swallowed. I think. The cost is freedom. The class clapped, but she could barely breathe. I almost failed the test. That evening, she returned to her small apartment. As she placed her bag down, her phone lit up. An anonymous message, no number. We're getting close. The game is almost over. Then a second one. Ask Dio about his father. She sat slowly. What does Dio's father have to do with me? Something felt wrong, like a spider web she didn't see until she was trapped. The next day, she followed Dio after school. He entered a compound. Not his house, an office. She waited, hiding. He came out 30 minutes later with a man in a suit. A man who looked familiar. That's Mr. Ojiako, my father's former board member. Panic gripped her chest. Why is Dio meeting with him? Does he know who I am? She stumbled back, nearly tripped, her head spinning. The test, the school, the love, the secret. Is this a trap? She couldn't sleep that night. Her phone buzzed again. We know everything. You're almost out of time. Tears rolled down her face. She looked at the mirror, then whispered, I want to take it off. I want to breathe. She reached for the mask, held it in her hand, but stopped. Not yet. Not like this. The next morning, she arrived at school. Everyone was silent, watching her. Her chair, gone. Her locker, broken. Written in chalk on the blackboard. Who is Amaka Chaisam? Then a voice behind her. You don't belong here, Adaize Obina. She turned. It was Dio, staring. But then he smirked. I said that in a dream. Funny how dreams feel real sometimes, right? She blinked. He was messing with her. Or was he? Title, The Girl Behind the Mask. Part 4, Trust is the hardest mask to wear. She came to find love. But now, even love feels like a trap. If she reveals herself, she loses everything. But if she keeps hiding, she might lose him. It was Monday morning. Addie's arrived to find her class window smashed, her books scattered on the floor. Someone had written on the chalkboard again, this time in red marker, "Rich girl, liar, remove the mask." Her knees buckled. She bent to pick up her books, hands trembling. Then she noticed something under her desk. A burnt photo. Her. From years ago. At a charity gala with her father. Someone had dug into her past. Someone new. During break, Dio pulled her aside behind the dining hall. "I won't ask again," he said, voice cold. "Who are you?" She stared at him. "I'm Amaka." "No, you're not." He stepped closer. "Is your real name Adaizi Obina?" Her heart dropped, but she didn't move, didn't flinch. Instead, she asked, "Why are you asking?" Dio's jaw tightened. "Because my father used to work for Chief Obina, and now you're here, in my school, wearing a mask." He exhaled. "Just tell me the truth." She looked at him, eyes full of tears, then whispered, "If I take off this mask now, everything changes. You'll never look at me the same way again. And the person you think you hate might be the girl you were starting to like." Dio stared at her. Then he turned around and walked away. Later that afternoon, the principal called her in. "Sit," he said. "We've been contacted by someone from Obicom Holdings." Her stomach turned. "We have reason to believe a high-profile individual is hiding here, possibly using a false name. Are you that person?" Silence. Adaze looked down at her mask. She wanted to rip it off, to scream, "Yes, I'm that person. I'm tired of hiding." But she didn't. Instead, she said, "Sir, I'm just a girl who came here to study and be left alone." He nodded slowly. "I hope that's true." As she stood to leave, he said one more thing. "If you're lying, the consequences will be bigger than expulsion." Halima found her crying in the back of the school compound. "You've been different lately." "I'm fine." "No, you're not." Halima sat beside her. "Tell me something, Amaka. Is your name really Amaka?" Adaizi froze. Halima smiled sadly. "You don't have to answer. I just want to know if our friendship was real." Tears dropped from Adaizi's eyes. She nodded slowly. "Everything was real, except my name." Halima hugged her. "Then that's enough for me. Keep your mask if you must. Just don't lose yourself inside it." After school, Dio was waiting. "I was angry," he said, "but not because you lied, because I felt something, and I didn't know if it was me feeling it, or your mystery controlling me." Adaizi stood quietly. "Now I realize, maybe mystery isn't the problem. Maybe expectation is." She whispered, "Do you still want to know who I am?" He shook his head. "No, not anymore. I just want to know who you're becoming." Was that love, or mercy, or both? That night, another message appeared on her phone. "Final warning, remove the mask in front of the whole school tomorrow, or your real name goes online." She stared at the screen, numb. She had one choice left: reveal herself and fail the test, or stand in front of everyone, keep the mask on, and risk public shame. She picked up her journal and wrote, "I am tired, but I am not finished." The next morning, the principal called an emergency school assembly. All students are to report to the open field immediately. Adaizi arrived last. Everyone was whispering. Then the microphone came on. "Amaka Chisholm, step forward." Her legs moved on their own. The principal's voice rang out. "We have received reports that you are hiding your identity. This is your chance to speak." Silence. Every eye on her. Even Dio. Even Halima. She reached for her mask. The crowd leaned in. She paused, then slowly lowered her hand. I wear a mask because the world only loves you when they know what to expect. But I want to be loved for who I really am, even if no one sees it yet. And with that, she walked away, still masked, still hidden, but stronger. Part 5. The reveal that broke the rules. For months, she hid behind a mask. But the real secret was never her face. It was why she was wearing it in the first place. And now, the world was about to know. It was a Friday morning. A blog post went viral. Daughter of billionaire Chief Obinna spotted in Lagos Public School, in disguise. The post included a side-by-side photo of Adaeze at a charity event, next to a blurred image of Amaka wearing the same bracelet. The internet exploded. By noon, reporters were outside Olukole School Gate. By 2 p.m., Adaze's fake identity was officially over. The mask hadn't slipped. It had been snatched. Another emergency school assembly. But this time, Adaeze didn't hide. She walked to the front. No mask, no lies. Her face calm but broken. Gasps flew through the crowd. That's really her. Billionaire's daughter? Then why did she come here? She took the mic, voice trembling, eyes watery, but her words, steel. Yes, my name is Adaeze Obinna. My father is Chief Obinna, CEO of Obicom Holdings. But I didn't come here for fame. I came to find someone who would love me, without knowing who I was. Silence. Then she added, because that was the only way I could inherit my father's company. She found Dio standing under the mango tree. He didn't look surprised, just wounded. I should have known, he whispered. It all makes sense now. The tests, the silence, the questions. She stepped closer. I didn't want to trick you. He nodded. But you did. Tears filled her eyes. I was falling for you, Dio. But I needed to know if you were falling for me. Not the money. Dio looked away. You didn't trust me, Adaeze said softly. Would you have trusted me if I told you the first day? He didn't answer. Later that night, she sat across from her father at their mansion's dining table. He poured wine, untouched by the chaos. You passed, he said. She looked up. But everyone knows now. I failed the rule. He smiled slightly. No, Adaeze, you didn't fail. What do you mean? Chief Obinna leaned forward. The test wasn't about hiding forever. It was about how long you could carry the weight of truth, without using it to protect yourself. She blinked. You mean, I could have told him eventually? He nodded. I just needed to know if you would wait until love came first, and you did. Her mouth dropped. But I lost him. Did you? Her father asked. At school on Monday, Adaeze found a note in her locker. It was from Dio. No name, no emojis, just words. You're right. I wouldn't have trusted you if you told me on day one. But now I know you were willing to suffer just to be seen for who you are. That kind of courage is rare. Maybe there's still something real here. Underneath it was his psychology book, the same one he once let her borrow. And on the last page, scribbled in blue pen, I didn't fall for the billionaire's daughter. I fell for the girl who was brave enough to be nobody. That afternoon they sat together under the mango tree, again. No crowd, no mask, just Adaeze and Dio. She looked at him. Do you forgive me? He nodded. Not fully, but I want to try. She smiled. That's enough. He smirked. One condition. What? No more secrets. She laughed. Deal. In the end, she passed the test. Not because she fooled the world, but because she refused to fool herself. She didn't just earn the company. She earned a story only few people ever get to tell. the story of how a billionaire's daughter became human enough to be loved without riches. And now, she's not hiding anymore, because the girl behind the mask is finally free. The end, dear listener. Did this story make you feel something real? Then say it. Drop one word, one line, one truth in the comments. Subscribe to Realm of Secret Tales, because we tell stories that don't just entertain, they heal. Share this story, because someone you know might be wearing a mask too, and if you ever feel unseen, just remember, love isn't about what they see, it's about what they choose to stay for, even when everything is revealed.